Hello everyone. For my portfolio, I've focused on professional identity as focus on my professional identity as a technical editor. I wanted to produce a very industry-oriented portfolio that highlights my skill sets since I'm graduating this month. In addition, my portfolio also focuses on MATC portfolio requirements as well as what my faculty reviewer wanted to see in my portfolio. So that tone in my portfolio, as I hope you all will be able to glean as I move forward, um, balances both of these foci. As my statement here indicates, my focus as a technical editor is to ensure my clients' documents are ready for publication or organizational use. So I included the types of editing that I specialize in. So in technical editing, there are three types of editing, typically called the three levels of edit. And these include copy editing, which I'll briefly focus on correctness in terms of grammar, structure, and whatnot. Comprehensive editing focuses on correctness, design, usability. Proofreading is kind of like a final edit after many other edits and revisions have been conducted. It's kind of like a final glance over the document, checking it for any other errors and whatnot. So I omitted proofreading because I did not have an artifact, as you can see here, that represented this type of editing. My first two artifacts are examples of copy editing, and my final two artifacts are examples of comprehensive editing, and I'll discuss these in more detail later. So going back to the top after the home page is my purpose page. And I included a purpose page to again aid in balancing the two foci of my portfolio. Again, that's the industry and my industry focus as well as MATC requirement focus. This page just simply informs my readers of the dual focus of my portfolio. Next is my reflections page. This is where users can easily access, my essay. I included a very short summative statement. Key here is that as a technical editor, I felt confident that I met each outcome. In the essay, I framed my achievement of program outcomes based on the knowledge and theory I learned, which I felt prepared me to become a technical editor. Moving on to the next page. So for artifact 1 and 2, these are my copy editing artifacts. So artifact 1 is straight and simple. It's a copy editing test and it's pretty much an industry standard. If you are going to a job interview, you will be asked to take a copy editing test. I included a quick overview of the artifact. I also included a process version of it as well as a product version. And again, it's about balancing my two foci of my portfolio. I believe that my faculty reviewer is way more interested in the process version because it has all my original markup and loads of my comments based on you know errors and questions I had for the author and whatnot. And my product version is is a clean copy of my of the artifact after my edits and my editorial changes have been accepted and all my comments have been deleted. And so I included this one because I noticed that a lot of technical editing portfolios only included the final version of the the documents that they have edited. So again, balancing the two foci. And I'll just show you that very quick. You can see lots of comments. What's significant about this artifact is that it's a manuscript, and as a technical editor, manuscripts are definitely something that you can expect to edit. As you can see, again, there's a ton of commentary, so technical editing requires a lot of attention to detail. You must depend on the style guide. Um, you have to edit your document based on the standards put forth, the standards of grammar, spelling, punctuation, formatting, organization, and you name it, put forth by an industry-wide or a company-specific style guide. Also, fact checking is essential. Oftentimes, quotes, cite references incorrectly, reference facts incorrectly. So you have to check the accuracy of each of these items. Moving on to artifact 2. Briefly, this artifact consisted of a copy edit of a journal submission to the Journal Physical Review Applied. It was written by a team of non-native English speakers. By non-native English speakers, I mean speakers. These speakers can write and speak English, but they're not fluent in it. They're just conversant. They don't possess an advanced understanding of the English language and writing structure. Much of the skills I discussed for artifact 1 for the first artifact is needed. However, for this artifact, and I'll show you it right quick. Attention to cultural differences is key. I have to take into account the cultural differences between myself and the author. You have to understand how these differences factors into the type of feedback I provide, how the writers will interpret the feedback. So you must possess, understanding of the cultural values of the writer. And you have to also prioritize the needs of the text. So it's a tough juggling act. Fortunately, there's some helpful research on the subject, as you can see here. Joe Makowicz and Captain Riley's 2003 article I hyperlinked here. That served as a very helpful framework for for devising my feedback. Just go back up here. So for the artifacts 1 and 2, in terms of program outcomes, the first two artifacts spoke to program outcomes 4, 5, and 6. Artifact 2 spoke primarily to program outcome 4, which is demonstrate sensitivity to ethical, professional, and cultural issues. However, both artifacts spoke to 5 and 6, which are demonstrate capacity in the workforce as it gets higher, and 6 demonstrate sense of professionalism. I think I or kind of address the cultural sensitivity issue very well. So for our outcomes 5 and 6, what's key, the key to being professional and an advanced hire is knowing how to use the style guide, how to check text for accuracy, provide quality feedback, justify by relevant theory, or just the rules. The style guide advances. Moving on, and again, as a reminder, artifacts 3 and 4 are my comprehensive editing artifacts. So, with that being said, for artifact 3, it's just a simple edit of an employee handbook. Again, I have my overview, my process version, and my product version. So with comprehensive editing, you're still including your copy edits, but it moves beyond the, the it moves beyond just simple copy editing. You really have to focus on document design and usability. In my experience, you have to be able to balance the needs and desires of the clients, or and or the requirements of the organization or industry association with the needs of the users. Sometimes these can be in conflict with each other, so you have to play a mediator. You have to edit the text to attend to each of these items based on these skills and the knowledge needed. I thought this artifact was a good example of my achievement of outcomes 1 and 3. Outcome 1 was analyze and respond appropriately to rhetorical situations and key issues. Outcome 3 was create effective and user centered technical documents justified with relevant theory. I'll show the artifact very quick. So it looks, so it was very marked up heavy, but it looks a lot better than what it was. It was just an excessive amount of red. The font was incredibly small. The table of contents was a complete mess. It was just, it was oversaturation of text, very few figures, so it's rough. It looks a lot better. Um, for Artifact 4, this is an comprehensive edit of an Ignite talk I created with a partner in the English Foundations and in the Foundations course. I took like my first year here. So I've certainly improved as a technical editor and technical communicator in general since then. And again, I included process version, so the original version, and I included a product version with all my editorial changes. And so for this artifact, I thought it best satisfied outcome 2, so the use of a variety of new media technology outcomes. I also chose it because it represents a lot of new possibilities for technical editing. When it comes to technical editing, we think editing manuscripts, organizational documents, and whatnot. It just made me think about, like social media posts, TikTok videos, and other more marketing focused materials. I'm sure we've all seen very problematic organizational content on social media, ranging from like glaring grammatical errors to like the use of offensive language and so on. So I felt like this artifact was a good opportunity, to kind of market myself as someone capable of editing, non-traditional types of media and technology. And last but not least is my About Me page. And again, it's just this very simple, it's very straightforward. It's just, it briefly summarizes, my educational experience and my work experience, and my interests in technical editing, and it includes a way for potential clients to contact me. And with that being said, I conclude my portfolio presentation. I really enjoyed this journey. I learned a lot along the way. I learned a lot from Dr. Rice and my classmates, and I can't believe this is it. Amy.